So, there was a leak of the Blackpink members saying the N-word. So today, we're talking about the leaked videos of the Blackpink members saying the N-word. But before you start typing out your comments, let me be clear, this isn't just about them. This situation opens up a much bigger conversation about racism in K-pop, fan culture, and the way certain stans react when their favs are called out. Now, I wasn't even planning on talking about any of the Blackpink members again for a while since I literally just made a video about Lisa a while ago. Go check that out if you haven't already. And while I usually don't care what people think, I didn't want my channel to look like it was hyper-focused on these girls before Blink started coming at me with the usual, "Oh, you're a BTS stan, rat me," or "You're a fake hater sent by Hybe" nonsense. But with all the discourse surrounding this leak, I felt the need to speak about it. And for those of you already getting defensive, this video isn't about dragging Blackpink, it's about K-pop and the industry as a whole. Now, let's get on with the video. For those who don't know, I'm Black. Always have been, always will be. And because of that, I've had my fair share of racist encounters and dealing with non-Black people saying the N-word. In high school, I was the type of person that if I found out a non-Black person said the N-word, I wasn't letting that slide. Best believe I was calling you out during lunch. And as a Black girl who was intertwined in fan-stan culture, it's always been exhausting. I know a lot of other Black fangirls can relate. Whether it's dealing with artists, actors, YouTubers, or influencers who have a history of racism, or realizing we're never the ideal type, or just waking up on a sunny day just to see online an old leaked video of one of our faves saying the N-word on a video. It always just seemed we were the butt of everyone's jokes. When I was younger, that used to get to me. It felt like I had to hold my breath every time I got into anything or anyone, because at any moment, an old tweet or video could pop up where they were doing something fucked up at our expense. And it's not just online. In real life, it happens too. This isn't some past issue. It's still happening today. I got into K-pop when I was around 13, and it was like my world suddenly had color. But you can imagine my shock when I found out that my alt group at the time, BTS, had their own history of saying the N-word. Like, Namjoon? For real? The way these idols were casually saying it, no hesitation, no stuttering, just full confidence, it was insane. Like I was so naive back then that I didn't even think people in Korea would have even known that word existed. At first I was in denial, but eventually I had to face the reality of racism, colorism, and cultural appropriation in K-pop. It got to a point where I became numb to it. But growing up, I realized that unlike high school, I can't just walk up to these idols and call them out during lunch. It sucks. And while I do believe we're seeing some changes, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Like, even if there weren't significant changes and idols were still completely out of whack, it would have been like,
"Another one, thank you. Another one, thank you."
As a Black K-pop fan, I've come to understand that to most of the industry, they don't actually care like that. And if I want to keep being a fan, I have to accept that reality. That doesn't mean I think it's right. That doesn't mean I don't want apologies or people to get educated, because trust me, I do. But I also know I can't change how an entire country thinks. I can hope for better. I can expect better. But I have to be okay with the fact that it just might not happen. And let me be clear, this is just my experience. I don't speak for all Black K-pop fans. If you disagree, that's fine. Now, when that YG leaker drama first started, I wasn't paying much attention. But when the videos of Lisa, Rosé, and Jennie rapping and singing the N-word multiple times dropped, I was gobsmacked. Like, yeah, there was always that rumor about Jennie saying it in a past video, but the audio was never clear. This time, I saw that shit in 4K. Well, the quality of the videos sucked, so it was more like 240p, but you get what I mean. And no, I'm not showing the videos here. YG isn't about to take my video down. If you haven't seen them and you're curious, just look it up on Twitter. But like I said at the start of my video, this isn't just about them. And I already know Blinks were rushing to the comments, like, but other idols have said it too. Yes, we know. No need to compare them to any other idol. Because the issue isn't just who said it, it's how certain stans react when their faves get called out. So, let's talk about it. What inspired me to make this video is seeing how some blinks on Twitter were defending or deflecting the Blackpink members when all of this was happening. I don't care how much you love your faves or how much you see the best in them, the Blackpink girls were wrong. Yes, they were young trainees, but they still chose to say those words while preparing to become a major girl group. They should have known that if they did debut, their past actions could affect their fans or other people. Especially Jennie and Rosé, who spent a good chunk of their lives overseas. I highly doubt they would have walked up to a black person on the street and had the guts to rap what they did behind YG's walls in front of them. That just shows they knew it was wrong, and if they didn't know then, they definitely know now. That's why I, and so many others, expect an apology. If Jennie can apologize for vaping indoors, she can apologize for literally saying a slur. And, yeah, they were trainees fighting for their lives, but I don't think YG would have slapped them across the face if they had just said man or something else to replace the word. Hell, they could have even said ninja instead. It wouldn't be much better, but at least it would show they were trying. One of the biggest issues when fans defend or deflect their faves' problematic actions is that it creates a cycle where idols are never held accountable. Instead of acknowledging that their faves did something wrong, fans shift the blame, make excuses, or even attack those who bring up the issue. This only enables the behavior and discourages artists from learning and growing. It also shows a complete lack of respect for the people who are actually hurt by these actions. If you truly love and support an artist, you should want them to be better, not shield them from responsibility. Blind loyalty isn't the same as genuine support. Another major problem is how fans will actively silence black people or anyone who speaks up about these issues. Whenever discussions about idols saying racial slurs or appropriating black culture arise, there are always fans trying to downplay the situation, acting like it's not that deep, or telling people to move on. But when their own faves experience racism in the West, they are the loudest ones demanding apologies and justice. The hypocrisy is glaring. Why is it a big deal when their idols are mocked, but when their idols do the same to other races, it's suddenly not worth talking about? The same energy used to call out racism against their idols should be used to hold their idols accountable when they are the ones causing harm. The N-word carries deep trauma and historical weight. It's not just a random word. It was used to dehumanize and oppress black people for centuries. So when idols casually say it, especially for entertainment, it's not just a mistake. It's a reminder of that history and the pain attached to it. And it doesn't matter if a black fan is personally okay with it. No single black person speaks for the entire community. If you're not bothered, that's fine, but that doesn't mean the conversation should be shut down for those who are. The problem isn't just the word itself, but the lack of empathy and understanding from those who refuse to acknowledge why it's hurtful. Instead of dismissing people's feelings, fans should take the time to listen, reflect, and actually consider why so many are speaking up. At the end of the day, I do hope for change. Not just from idols, but from fans too. Instead of immediately getting defensive or attacking people who speak up, I wish more fans would take a second to actually listen and understand why these discussions happen in the first place. No one is saying you have to cancel your faves, but acknowledging when they do something wrong shouldn't be so difficult. If people could approach these conversations with empathy rather than deflection, things wouldn't have to be so exhausting every time this topic comes up. Nobody is perfect, and people can grow, but that growth only happens when there's accountability. And let's be real, most of these idols are not little babies anymore. They're grown adults who can handle a bit of criticism. There is no need to blindly defend them just because they're famous. They don't need you shielding them from accountability like they'll shatter into pieces. Taking some flack for something they actually did is not going to kill them. P.S. I swear to God, if I see any comments doing the exact opposite of what I just said and start doing some bullshit like bringing up other groups and idols to deflect, talking about how the leak was meant to distract from Kim Soo-hyun's scandal, claiming I hate Blackpink and I'm just feeding into negativity or any other nonsense, I will seriously lose my shit. I've never had a problem responding to comments, and I've been keeping it classy, but I promise you, If anyone tries to turn this video or my comments into something it's not, I will go the full fuck off. Have a nice day.